All right, in this week's whiteboard video, I'm gonna go over what a typical training week looks like for me. Now, disclaimer, there's 1,000 ways to schedule your programming. You can look at different theories on periodization, many different training plans that are good at different spots, different times of the year, depending on what your goals are. But for me, I'm a general population, former collegiate athlete. And for me, I just want to be generally good at a lot of things. So I like to follow what's called more of a concurrent style of training program, which means I'm working on multiple skills at once in low doses, okay? So I'm not just focusing on one thing heavily. I'm trying to do a variety of things, genuinely just pretty good, okay? So I've been using this kind of training block or structure for the past 2 years, emphasizing different skills at different times. But this is just a general plan for a general human who wants to be generally good at a bunch of different things. And this is exactly kind of the structure I work off of for my online training team, where there's athletes who are just like me, who are just gen pop, looking to be strong, looking to feel fast, looking to be able to run or swim or do something active outside. And lifting isn't necessarily everything, okay? So enough of the kind of intro, but I'll just run through what the program kind of has looked like lately, okay? So I've got Monday through Sunday. I always start the week on a Monday. I know some people do Sunday, but to me, as we'll get into later, Sunday's just kind of a chill day, which is starting the week on Monday, okay? So I've split up the AM and PM. Obviously, if you work full-time, you're not going to be able to hit like a full week of training, or it's going to be hard. You have to go before and after work, especially if you have like a day job. But this is kind of what I follow while still coaching one-on-one, like 30 to 35 hours a week, as well as doing this kind of content online and educational stuff. So it is possible. Just got to carve the time out. And obviously, I just have a family, but I don't have kids yet, so still got some added time there. Disclaimer. But this is kind of how I like to structure the week. Monday, we've got a morning activity. So as I said, Sunday's kind of a chill day. So for me, I still want to get that exposure of top-end sprint skill that you don't really get in the gym. The fastest thing human body can do on its limbs is sprint or throw. But for me, full body, the most demanding thing of the week, I'm going to put at the start of the week coming off some rest, okay? So I like to program Monday sprint work. That's usually before I come and do coaching clients, so it's first thing in the morning. It's not a big session. I would say 30 to 45 mins. Prep work looks like a lot of A-skips, a lot of speed drills, a lot of sprinting postures, and then depending on my goals of the training block, I'll hit some speed or acceleration work. This would depend on the distance. So if I'm just strictly focusing on top-end speed, you're probably looking at between 20 and 50 yarders. If I'm looking to prep for a marathon, let's say, or a longer distance event, and I still want to get some speed work at a higher volume, then I may do some 100-meter or 400-meter repeats to try to build that kind of anaerobic engine at a longer duration between a minute and a minute 30 versus just a short sprint at 30 to 50 yards, let's say, okay? So the main goal is I'm working full body sprint at a certain distance, whether short or longer in the 100 or 200 or 400. And then I like to stack my lower strength day on the same day, okay? So I've already taxed my legs a little bit in the sprint session, my nervous system, so then I'll go into some lower body strength. So this is strictly lower session, okay? I like to divide my lower and upper session to start the week. So this would look like some plyometrics to start, but not at a high volume, and do some strength work, usually a compound exercise, whether it's a squat, a split squat, lunge, whatever it might be. And then typically I'll focus just on that certain exercise, maybe pair it with a jump. And then other than that, it's just a lot of tolerance stuff for the lower body, okay? Could be some isos, a lot of groin work, quad work, hammy work, and especially calf work. I really like to focus on the calf stuff in my first session because the rest of the week is full of activities, so I just get it out of the way. So this would be CNS in green, central nervous system, a high day, okay? So if you've never heard of it, there's a model that strength and conditioning coaches follow and sport coaches follow, kind of a high-low model. So you can just simply break down each day of whether it's highly demanding on your body and your nervous system or it's not demanding at all, or low demand, okay? So I start the week with a high day because I'm coming off a couple low days, which we'll still get into, okay? So full day, pretty lower dominant here. So my next day, I have a dog, golden retriever, super active, so we'll typically hit a walk every day. But on Tuesday mornings, I have a bit of time, so we'll usually do a hike and then maybe a short run, okay? So I like to kind of hit a short, easy run, not hard at all, because I'm coming off of a big day on the leg, so it just kind of gets the blood flowing. Maybe I'll do like 5 to 8 kilometers. Now, that's where I'm at in my certain training. Like I said, I've been doing this for a couple of years, so it could even be anywhere between 1 and like 3 kilometers as well. Just an activity to kind of get your legs, kind of get blood flowing to the tissues down there and reduce that DOMS effect from your first session. So that's kind of how I like to start the morning. Typically we'll go coach, and then in the afternoon, I'll hit a upper body strength. Now, again, because I'm starting the week off a couple lows, I would classify this as another high intensity day. And the upper day is, I haven't touched my upper in a couple days now, so I usually still feel pretty fresh, even though from an overall fatigue standpoint, my battery is getting lower as the week goes on. So upper session will typically look like a full prep shoulder series. I like to go through kind of all the joint angles of the shoulder in my prep, and then it's usually an upper body plyo, maybe a hang like snatch with the barbell, some dumbbell Olympic variations, some push-up plyometrics, or just right into a main lift. Now the upper day is more set up kind of like a bro push-pull day. I don't just do push or pull. I like to mix the two in combos. I just feel like it's the best use of time in a busy week. So I'll typically pair whether it's a heavy press with a heavy pull. Let's go like whether it's barbell bench with a single arm dumbbell row or a weighted chin up with a alternating dumbbell press or something like that, okay? And then the next block will consist of another kind of exercise, typically exercise pairing, at a higher volume. So my first block, I'll typically go low rep scheme, whether it's a 5x5 or a 6x5 or a 6x3, something where it's a low amount of reps and more sets. And then the next pairing, I'll do kind of low sets, 3 to 4 or 2 to 4, and then do high reps, whether it's 8 to like 15. We'll typically finish this off with some delt work because the next day, I'm usually pretty gassed from the 2 kind of intensive days to start. I just like having 2 hard days to start the week because that's when I have the most energy. Wednesday is our low day, so low intensity, don't do anything too serious. I like to get in and still hit some arms, so I'll do an isolated arm session. Now again, I'll say low intensity, it could still be a high amount of effort in the arm session where I strictly focus on like arms, bis and tris, maybe a bit of abs and whatever mobility I might want. But it's not that taxing on the nervous system because everything's at kind of a lower rep scheme or a lower weight at higher reps. Some days, depending on the weather, I'll get another little short run in, not that intense. And then Wednesday nights, I leave open for whether it's hitting the golf course or playing intramural soccer or playing pickup hockey. Those are my 3 kind of recreational activities. I really emphasize to my people I work with is still be involved in a recreation activity. It's fun just to get out and play with friends in a competitive sport. Thursday, typically do nothing in the morning. Pretty jam-packed week so far. And then I'll hit 1 session on Thursdays, which is a full body dynamic, okay? So this is where I kind of encompass everything into 1 session. I've already trained specifically and isolated my lower, my upper, bit of arms. So now I'm going to do a bit of everything at a high intensity, but because I'm just accumulating more reps and sets on those working tissues from my sessions already, okay? So it's not going to be the most dynamic session in the world. Everything's low amount of volume with high intensity. So this session might look like full warm-up, maybe some light sprints just outside the gym here. Typically go with a compound like RDL or deadlift on this day. and then either like a weighted chin up, and then into some cable exercises, pecs, back, lower body. Again, kind of just a full body pump, working a bit of everything at a low volume. Okay, Friday, I like to hit a hard conditioning session. So everything so far has been moderate, either short run and a mid run at an easy pace. So Friday, it is important to not only get your slow, lower intensity conditioning. I do believe you got to get some sort of high intensity conditioning in. So I'll either do a HIIT circuit workout, kind of like set up stations and then work through the stations at a high intensity with low rest. Or lately, I've been hitting the high rock stations, which I really like. Not as like high intensity interval training, but it is kind of like a lactate threshold workout. You're working in that 3 to 5 minute range at each station, and it becomes a bagger, and it's super mindless because it's just like, I got to get this done, move to the next station, get this done, move to the next station. So I've progressed this by just doing the stations without the running involved. It's 8 stations. It roughly takes, like, for me, under 30 minutes, like 25 to 30 minutes. For some people, maybe faster. For some people, maybe longer. But what matters the most is you're going at a higher intensity at each conditioning station. And then Friday, typically, whether it's a recreation activity, hanging out with friends, volleyball, golf, soccer, whatever it might be. Saturday mornings, again, full week, and typically I'll save this space because I don't work Saturday or Sunday for my long aerobic activity, okay? So long, slow, and for duration, LSD. So for me, I like running, so I go on long runs with my friends. This can be over an hour long, okay? So whether it's hiking and running, I just try to do something that I'm outside for close to 2 hours. For some people, this could be swimming. For some people, this could be biking. But I leave Saturday for that long, slow duration, kind of zone 2, if you want to specify zones, for Saturday. Usually just because that's the most time in my day. So hopefully the weather's good every Saturday. And then Sunday is typically a complete off day. I do think it's important to take those off days after a full training week, allow yourself to recover, and then you can enter the next training week with a good amount of energy. If anything, again, low intensity, golf, hiking, walking, just spending time with family, doing something, pickleball, tennis, whatever it might be, maybe on those days, okay? So obviously, this is like a perfect training world scenario. Everyone has time commitments, but for me, it's really worked well to allow myself to work hard in each session, because that's what I feel like people miss a lot of times. They just go to the gym and go through the motions and there's no real progress. So this structure allows me to hit all the skills I'm looking to hit, gives me a big general approach to not only strength training, low intensity conditioning, high intensity conditioning, isolated pumps for the muscle, especially the arms and the shoulders, enough time to enjoy recreational activities and still be strong, fast, athletic, and in good shape week by week. Every week's not going to be great, but this is how I love structuring a week, to allow myself, as I said, to work out at a high intensity, hit a bunch of different skills, and feel recovered so I know I can make progress on these skills week by week and keep living healthy, okay? So hopefully this kind of helps if you're looking for a new kind of structure and take a general approach to what's been popularized as like a hybrid training model. I hate the term hybrid training model, so it's just working on human skills that makes a human healthy in a balanced training program, okay? So if you are looking for a training program to follow, you can hit the link in my YouTube channel. It follows this structure with periodized exercises to make sure you're constantly building on these skills. So check that out if you want, but if not, here's a free kind of template that you can take and apply to your own training. So thanks for watching.